This is, oh my gosh, yeah, baby. Oh, here we go. Oh, guys, this is a good fish. This is, oh my gosh, good one. On the board like that, that fish choked. Every time you get out there, you got a chance at a chunker like that. You won't know if you don't go. Oh, yeah. This is my kayak. Get yourself one. Fish on. Yeah. Oh my God. Look at that tank. That's a toad, brother. Golly. All right, guys, so it's unfortunate that Joseph had to head home early because I think the conditions are lining up to have like an epic evening, followed by tomorrow being a really good day. So I'm gonna have to, you know, let him live vicariously through this video, and then hopefully set the table for him coming back down and us getting out on the water. So it worked out great that he got here early so he could get some fishing in, and he caught some good fish. Hopefully I can borrow some footage from him if he happened to film any of it to share it with you guys. But either way, I'm glad he got to come down and pick up his boat. That was first and foremost. I was looking forward to spending the day on the water with him. He's got a fascinating story about joining the Marine Corps late and all that good stuff, which we'll bring you when he comes back and we can actually get out on the water and spend some more time. But what I'm gonna do now is do a little bit of exploration, doing some spot checking and stuff like that, so that way I keep my finger on the pulse of what's going on the fishery. For the next person that comes down for a guided trip or just to share the water and or pick up a boat or prize that they won. So anyway, here we go. Post spawn, fish are really starting to get crazy active. You know, we've got 69-degree water temperature. There's still a few fish that are late spawners, but for the most part on this part of the lake, it's post spawn. But the brim are starting to set up. The bluegill are starting to set up for their spawn. So that means the bass are really starting to focus and key on those areas. You know, naturally they like to beat up on them because they're a natural predator, but they're also a really good food source, high fat content, high caloric content, and a lot of return on investment when they eat one of those big brim. You know, it takes a couple days sometimes for them to digest them. So what I'm doing is I'm exploring some spots where I know the brim spawn and hitting those areas just outside of it or adjacent to it, looking for those bass that are keying on those fish. And then I'm gonna work my way back into a little pocket, kind of a hidden gem that very few boats can get into. Most of the local kayak anglers know about it, but it's pretty much a little kayak anglers, you know, paradise here on Lake Guntersville. And there's tons of them on the Tennessee River system, on all the lakes, all throughout North Alabama. So we're gonna get out there and see if we can't get her done. So what I'm doing right here, just so it'll make sense, is everything in most bass fishermen's brain in this scenario right here will tell you to fish that bank over there. And it's not a bad spot, but what I've got out here is I've got some emerging milfoil pods, and you can kind of see them on the graph right here in front of me. And actually, let me grab my phone so that I can get a really good shot of this for you guys. But what we've got here is these emerging milfoil pods, okay? So I'm gonna video this screen for you. And these emerging milfoil pods have like an edge on them. And as you start to see white specks out of them that look like dandruff, that's bass. And so what I'm doing out here is I'm in about 4.5 foot of water. And over there towards the bank, it gets real shallow. And a lot of people will bang that wood and fish it, but everybody kind of overlooks this area right here with all this pretty eelgrass between here and the main channel out there where the boats run. And it's just kind of one of those in-between forgotten spots. Like I said, there's the bank over there. Here's these milfoil and eelgrass pods. And then out there is the main channel that most people run through. So this is that spot, those tweener spots that you really need to focus on, especially during the times when there's a lot of traffic. There he is. Just like it's not a big one, but like I said, man, these fish will move out to these outer edges. And a lot of times, once they go shallow, we like to think they stay shallow, but the times between the feeding times when they move up shallow, they'll move out here and stage on these outer edges. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of slow it down just a little bit, ease down through here, and see if I can't find some more fish ready to chew this thing, because like I said, I've caught some absolute giants doing this. And it's a good numbers thing too for you guys that are out there more interested in, you know, catching a 5 fish limit for a tournament or something like that, or just having a good day on the water. but it just catches them all. So anyway, here we go. All right, guys, so I got a question the other day. What is the one bait that you fish a lot that you haven't done a video on for whatever reason? It was a cool DM. So this is a True Bass 4-inch minnow. I'm fishing it on a Berkeley Jig Head. I don't remember the name of the Berkeley Jig Head, but I bought them because they've got that nice grip pin collar on them. Short hook shank so it doesn't interfere with the action, but it's still a heavy gauge wire so that I can, you know, pull the biggest fish out of there. And the place that I'm fishing it right now is one of my favorite places to fish pre-spawn and post-spawn, which is these outer lily pad stalks. I'm in 7.5 foot of water right here. It's about 5 foot over there, you know, within a half a casting distance up to about 3 foot up on that shelf right there. And a lot of times these big females, after they spawn up in this spawning flat over here, will move out here and stage where there's this emerging hydrilla milfoil coming up underneath these pads. The pads are still scattered. Most of them are either fully open or about halfway open, but some of them are still kind of tacoed up. But man, these pad stalks are good. Pre-spawn, they're good in the winter. But as this grass starts to come up, so that when those pads are fully open and fully grown up, there's that gap between the top of the grass and the bottom of the pads that those fish like to hang in. These big females love to stage out here. And one of my favorite ways to fish for them is a hollow body swim bait on an open jig head. Chatterbaits work, you know, spinner baits work, all that, but a hollow body swim bait, open jig head, high hookup ratio. You can fish it through the thickest stuff. It doesn't really hang up that much. It runs into those pad stalks and bounces off of them. Doesn't hang up as bad as other stuff. And I've just caught a lot of fish on it. So we're gonna ease down this outer edge right here as we're working our way back into this shallow flat, just to see if we can find some of these bigger females that might have dropped off out here, you know, kind of staging up, feeding up for the post spawn. Yeah, we're just gonna see if there's some here. I mean, it's on the way. Another little guy, but we're getting to that point where it's about to go down. All right, the sun is going behind the trees. This was a little quick trip. Yeah, didn't get a chance to catch the big ones that I wanted to, so Joseph didn't miss out on a whole bunch, but still get to fish my way all the way back to the boat ramp. A lot of big fish spots between here and there. I had my shot at one good, decent fish, you know, definitely a 20+ incher, and I just got caught out of position. So hope you guys enjoyed this little short video, and we'll be back at it in the next one real soon. Y'all stay tuned. Oh, here we go. Oh guys, this is a good fish. This is, oh my gosh, yeah baby. This is a good one. This is a good one. This is a good one. Look at that thing right there. Well guys, that is why you just fish to the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is not a monster, but that is a pretty, like, chunky, solid Guntersville fish. And you know, I could have just as easily stayed at the house today. I could have played the game of saying, you know, it ain't worth going out, but I only had a few hours, and you know, I wish Joseph could have been out here. I already had done the ending to the video. The sun's going down, it's already below the tops of the trees, and man, I just gotta say, you won't know if you don't go. So every time you get out there, you got a chance at a chunker like that. So get out there, keep winding, keep grinding, and put some fish on the board like that. That fish choked that True Bass hollow body swim bait, fished on a jig head. Man, that is one of my favorite ways to fish this time of year, and it produces big fish just like that one. So love y'all. See you in the next video. You know, one fish can make the difference in a day, whether you catch it at the beginning of the trip, the end of the trip, the middle of the trip. But there is just something about that clutch fish, you know, bottom of the ninth, you know, oh, you got almost no time left on the clock, you got to head back, and wham. So yeah, just keep grinding, keep smiling, keep freaking putting the time in. That time on the water will pay off. And yeah, just don't put too much pressure on yourself. I did that for a long time, you know, because I do this for a living. And the more that I relax and just go with my instincts and, you know, try to learn, try to share, try to learn so I can share, you know, that kind of stuff, the better off I am, the more enjoyment I get out of being out here, and the more success I find. So, you know, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Get out there, master one skill set at a time, build on it, and or just improve each time you go, and you'll never have a bad trip. Love y'all. See you in the next video. About slung my dang glasses off right there. Slow down on a little bit of that head shaking, Chad. I'm not a monster, but it always feels good to get that pattern dialed in. Got another one on the way back to the boat. Boys and girls, if you are not doing so, in shallow water in the spring, throw a hollow body swim bait on a jig head. That is a True Bass 4-inch minnow on a Berkeley, I forget what the name of it is. I'll look it up and put it in the description box. It's a little 1/4 ounce Berkeley jig head with the more important part is the swim bait. True Bass, olive green back, natural belly. They freaking chewing it. I keep trying to end this video and the bass keep eating. There's another one. He just bumped his head on the front of the kayak, and that was probably not feeling too good. Look at that dude. Another little chunker. Right in the corner of the mouth, boy. I could stay out here all night and do this. And actually, nighttime is one of the better times to do it, because that tail thump and that white color, any ambient light whatsoever, which we got a new moon right now, so there wouldn't be much ambient light, but man, they will key in on that thing really, really effectively at night. So unfortunately, I got to be up early in the morning, got some stuff I got to get done, and I can't stay out here all night. Now that will not be the case throughout the summer. I will be bringing you guys some ridiculous night fishing stuff this year. I've kind of flirted with it in the past. I've caught some good fish at night. I've not made the effort to set myself up to do a better job of videoing it, but we're going to do that this year. So I'm going to end this video again by saying thank you guys for watching. I am going to fish my way out of here, and if I catch a donkey, I'll bring it to you. But appreciate y'all hanging out to the end. Appreciate y'all's support. Love y'all. See you knuckleheads in the next video. Bye. All right, guys, so check this out. Again, today I get to do, again, one of those things that is the favorite part of my job, which is to pass along the blessings that I've been given in my life to the folks that deserve it. So this is Joseph Novoa, and Joseph's from Indiana. Not from Indiana, live in Indiana. Where are you originally from?
From Indiana.
Okay, so he's from Indiana. Yeah. Spent some time in the Marine Corps, signed up last year for the Catch 22 challenge, won a kayak. So he drove down here to Alabama to pick up the kayak. So kind of a little bit different story than normal. He called me and said he's getting here early. So what we did is we met up. He took the kayak and came out and do some fishing. We're actually supposed to fish together tomorrow as part of the guided trip that you get with winning the kayak. So Joseph said, man, I might have to go to work. My boss has given me the time off, but I might have to go back early. So I said, well, look, I'll get out tomorrow afternoon. I can't get out in the morning because I've already had something else scheduled. Jumped through my butt this morning to get all that stuff done, and I'm on the way here. Am I making this up? No. I'm on my way here, and I get a text from Joseph that says, hey man, bad news, I gotta head home. And I was like, dude, I'm halfway there. So I just made it here to Lake Guntersville, but because we couldn't get together yesterday, and then our planned trip was tomorrow, and there was the chance that he couldn't hang out. I said, look, man, let me send you some intel, give you a couple places to go to. So he's been out here since this morning, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip the camera around, let him tell you about his morning so far, about how he won the kayak and all that good stuff. And then I guess I'm already here. I've got my stuff. I might as well head out, and then we'll see how it goes. But let's hear from Joseph about his morning on Guntersville and, you know, winning this kayak from Bonafide and the Catch 22 challenge and all that good stuff. Here we go. Talk to me about the boat, man. You this is why you're here.
Right.
You know, obviously the fishing was secondary, or maybe not, maybe it's primary, but like, so first and foremost, talk to me about the boat.
Okay, well, I've never had a Bonafide, so this is my first Bonafide experience. I had 2 days to fish on it. I will say this, as I was telling you earlier, it tracks really well. I was kind of like scared. You know, the wind had picked up, the storms moved in, it got rained on last night while I was camping. But yeah, I was able to track a couple miles and didn't even break a sweat. So
a lot of people think that when they hear the internet reviews that, oh, the boat doesn't track well, and then when you see people talk about it, they're actually saying it doesn't track well if I'm sitting there trying to fish and the wind's blowing, my nose comes. That's not tracking. Tracking is actually when you're moving, and because the Bonafide has a double keel, it really does track well. Talk to me about stability and comfort, man. How did you find the boat from that standpoint?
I wish this would have been my first kayak. When I got into kayak fishing, I kind of was new to what was on the market, and yeah, I wish this would have been my first choice. I like the dual catamaran style. It's super stable. With it being windy today, I was able to catch and catch fish, you know, just spotting them and flipping, and yeah, I had a good time today.
So talk to me about the spot on Guntersville. Obviously, I was going to take you there here in like the next hour, but talk to me about the spot you went to. Were there fish there? Did you find fish there? Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, you hooked it up with the little nest egg back there, and I was kind of glad there was no boats back there because, yeah, I had fun. I mean, I caught a limit. Kind of wish I was in a tournament. I would have definitely been in the top 10 easy, you know. But yeah, like, definitely.
So man, I'm gonna come over here. That was one of the things about the get in here. So that was one of the things about the parts of Guntersville that I sent you to, because a lot of people think of Guntersville as this big aggressive lake, you know, it's intimidating, but we have so much backwater here. Like the place that you went to, where you basically got to paddle over this road bed that's only got like inches of water over it. You slide right across it. Once you get back there, you're in a big flat that's almost 1.5 miles long by 300 or 400 yards wide that no boats can get into. Right. They might be able to get in there for about 2 weeks to a month out of the year when the water's like real high. Other than that, you've got it to yourself. And it's like, I tell people all the time, it's like the Caribbean, but freshwater. You stand up and you can see all these sandy potholes and eelgrass waving in the, oh my gosh, it's just so good. And I was really stoked about this evening because we had a front come through last night. The wind's blowing today. It's going to settle out this evening. We got a, you know, according to bass forecast, the feeding time coincides with dark.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, whoever your boss is, let him know what you're actually leaving to go back home. But talk to me a little bit about your service, man. You were a Marine.
Yes, I did.
I was Navy. A lot of people say, you know, a lot of Navy guys like to throw out the whole, you know, the Marine Corps is the department of the Navy, and then the Marine guys like to say what?
The men's department.
The men's department. So we'll just go ahead and get that part out of the way. But talk to us about, what did you do in the Marine Corps, and how long were you in, all that good stuff?
I was a motor T for 224 out in Chicago. I was recruited to MARSOC, but I also was my unit's gunner.
So tell these knuckleheads that don't know what MARSOC means exactly what that means.
It's basically the A-, B+ version of a Navy SEAL, per se.
Special operations,
yeah,
basically, yeah. So yeah.
But,
Marine Special Operations Command is basically, we merge words together.
Right.
So it basically is special ops.
Right.
So
yeah, long story short, just if you're a Marine, you know the needs of the Marine Corps. So, but I got out as a motor T operator, and currently I work for Gordon Food Service, and I drive and deliver for them in the Chicagoland area.
And you used to be a fighter, is that right?
Yeah.
You did a little MMA stuff,
a little punching. MMA stuff back in the day.
Little punching people. Maybe if I can get down in his weight class when he comes back, we'll do a little sparring session.
Oh yeah.
Joe Drowns, who runs Yak and Grass here on Lake Guntersville, is actually a former MMA fighter. Okay. Guys fought some of the top names in the game, and maybe we'll get together at like Rocket City MMA or something. Clay Guida is going to be part of the whole knucklehead thing. Right. Maybe we could do like a little exhibition style fish and fight kind of thing towards the end, kind of pair up in some weight classes and make a little fun thing out of it.
Totally down for that.
Yeah, man. So you got to go home.
Yeah, unfortunately. I don't live down here. I wish I did.
But you got a couple good days on Guntersville. You stayed at Lake Guntersville State Park, right? That's
Yes.
because you've been here before. You've got some experience. Where did you fish yesterday?
Yesterday, I actually fished right off. I launched right off the state park and just ran the coastline with the current. And yeah, I was able to catch some big ones yesterday as well.
Nice. So you got good fish. Going home on a boat. You get to rig this thing up for yourself. And then you've got a stand-in offer anytime you want to come back down to Guntersville. We'll go chase them together. So guys, listen. The reason that he's taking home this boat is he entered into the Catch-22 Challenge. The Catch-22 Challenge is something that we do. There's 2 ways you can win. We do random drawings from everybody that entered 5 fish. We do random drawings for everybody that entered 22 fish, what we call the Any 22 Anywhere, just for fun, which means you don't even have to use measuring boards. You don't have to follow the rules. You post up 22 fish. And then we have the competitive side where if you catch the biggest 22 fish in each state and things like that. And we're really working hard to use that to raise money. So far with the Catch-22 Challenge from last year, we were able to raise $5,000, which I'm donating to the local Heroes on the Water chapter. Was working with another charity, just can't really get good communication going with those guys. So I decided to put that money where it could be best used, which is in the Heroes on the Water chapter, where we can put more butts in boats and get guys out there. But now you're gonna get to go home with this kayak. I'm looking forward to, seeing some social media posts and some pictures down the road of your adventures in it. I know that when you're coming down, you said, man, I live in Indiana. We don't have big fish like they have here, but little known fact, but the 10-pound bass that's on the cover of my book was actually caught in Indiana.
Oh man.
I've got 3 or 4 fish that I caught in Indiana that were over 8 pounds. I got one over 9. So I know a lot of people don't think, or people from Indiana don't think there's a lot of big fish there, but there's a lot of big fish there. Especially a lot of the BMPs or those ponds that are, behind businesses where you got to get a little creative to find out access. A lot of the public fishing lakes that they have there. The Atterbury Base has got a place where you can get the iSportsman and go there. There's some really juicy places in Indiana, but the river fishing up there is fantastic. So I plan on you coming back and fishing with me, but dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I come to Indiana a lot. I like to go up there and visit some of the crew. JT Hickman's up there, Sam Jones, who does the admin website graphics and is kind of the guy that keeps this whole thing going, is in Indiana. And because I lived in Nashville, I used to spend a lot of time up there. So maybe what we'll do is you come back and fish with me, but I'll hit you up and come up there and fish with you as well. So, all right, man. So listen, you be safe heading home. I hope you enjoy the boat. And if you guys are even remotely interested in a chance at winning, if you want to help us with our mission to get more veterans out there putting butts in boats, using kayak fishing as therapy, hit the link up in the description box below. I really would appreciate it if you can sign up for the Catch-22 Challenge. And if you haven't heard about it yet, check out the Knucklehead Bass Fishing Series, where myself and a bunch of other team captains are doing the same thing. Raising money for charity, using fishing, getting together as a community, having a good time and catching some big fish. Now I'm going to unload my stuff and head out to the water. So hopefully I get to text you a picture of a mouth about that big with a fish down in it later.
So bad. That's so wrong.
All right, man, listen, be safe. It was nice meeting you. And, shoot me a text when you get home. Just let me know you made it safe. And if you can sneak back out one more time this afternoon, Town Creek by Guntersville State Park ain't that bad.
I got you.